We all know them as legends, world leaders, and superstars, but have you ever wondered what they looked like as kids? Some were unrecognizable, others showed early signs of greatness. Today, we take a fascinating journey into the childhoods of 20 of the most famous people in history. Can you guess who they are before the big reveal? Let's find out. Before we begin, comment below who you think will surprise you the most. Let's get started. This little boy struggled with speech delays and was thought to be slow by his teachers. He often daydreamed and had trouble following instructions, but deep inside his mind was filled with endless curiosity about the universe. Do you know who he is? He grew up to change the world of physics forever. He is none other than Albert Einstein. This little boy struggled in school, had a speech impediment, and was often told he wouldn't succeed. But he grew up to become Britain's Prime Minister and led the nation to victory in World War II. Do you know who he is? He is none other than Winston Churchill. This little boy faced struggles with his identity, often feeling like he didn't belong, but he grew up to become the first African-American president of the United States, winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009 and inspiring millions. Do you know who he is? He is none other than Barack Obama. This little girl was abandoned by her mother, grew up in foster homes and faced a turbulent childhood. But she grew up to become one of Hollywood's most iconic actresses and a global sex symbol. Do you know who she is? She is none other than Marilyn Monroe. This little boy grew up in a poor neighborhood, faced criticism for his height and his family's struggles, but he grew up to become one of the greatest footballers of all time, breaking records and winning countless trophies. Do you know who he is? He's none other than Cristiano Ronaldo. This little boy grew up in extreme poverty, spending part of his childhood in a workhouse after his mother was institutionalized. But he grew up to become one of the greatest comedians and filmmakers of all time, revolutionizing cinema with his iconic silent films. Do you know who he is? He is none other than Charlie Chaplin. This little girl loved writing, dreamed of becoming an author, and lived a happy life with her family. But history had other plans. She grew up hiding from the Nazis during World War II and left behind one of the most famous diaries ever written. Do you know who she is? She is none other than Anne Frank. This little boy was born in a small village and faced racial discrimination from an early age, but he grew up to lead the fight against apartheid, becoming South Africa's first black president and a global symbol of peace. Do you know who he is? He's none other than Nelson Mandela. This little boy was once furious when his bicycle was stolen and vowed to learn how to fight, but he grew up to become a boxing legend, winning world titles and inspiring millions with his confidence and activism. Do you know who he is? He is none other than Muhammad Ali. This little boy grew up in a strict household and started performing on stage at just 6 years old. But he grew up to become the king of pop, revolutionizing music and dance like no one before. Do you know who he is? He is none other than Michael Jackson. This little boy grew up in a rough neighborhood, surrounded by crime and poverty, but dreamed of becoming an actor. Do you know who he is? He is none other than Leonardo DiCaprio. This little girl was bullied for loving country music and spent hours writing songs in her bedroom. But she grew up to become a global music icon, winning countless awards and inspiring millions with her lyrics. Do you know who she is? She is none other than Taylor Swift. This little girl grew up in a tough neighborhood, training on cracked tennis courts with her sister, but she defied all odds to become a tennis legend, dominating the sport like no one before. Yes, that's Serena Williams. This little boy dreamed of becoming an artist, but was rejected twice from art school, struggling to find his purpose. But he grew up to lead Germany into World War II, causing immense destruction before taking his own life in a bunker as his empire collapsed. Do you know who he is? He was Adolf Hitler. This little boy was diagnosed with a growth hormone disorder and was told he might never play professional football, but he overcame every obstacle to become one of the greatest footballers in history. Do you know who he is? He is none other than Lionel Messi. This little boy was often sick and weak as a child, but he refused to let that define him. Instead, he trained relentlessly and grew up to become a martial arts legend, revolutionizing action cinema and inspiring millions. Do you know who he is? He is none other than Bruce Lee.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing vintage content.